For investors, there's always a new worry, or a fresh reason to buy. The latest headlines scream about what we should do based on the latest data point. That shiny object syndrome destroys returns and depletes our mental capital. Hi, this is Jason Geffert, editor of Capital Context. I founded a highly respected research firm more than 2 decades ago and then sold it. Now I'm using my experience to help guide the next generation of investment insights, using everything that I've learned, the feedback of sophisticated investors I've consulted with, and the power of new tools. When you first visit Capital Context, it can feel like a lot. So here's the most important thing to understand. This is a framework for understanding probabilities and positioning. It helps you decide how much risk to take. Most investors focus on the wrong things. They react to headlines, try to pick stocks, or predict what happens next. But what drives results is how much risk you take, especially your exposure to equities. Instead of making predictions, Capital Context shows you the range of likely outcomes based on current conditions. At the top, you'll see a probability-weighted range for the S&P 500. That's how outcomes are distributed, not necessarily where the market is going. Below that, you'll see how often the market tends to rise and what returns typically look like, both compared to normal conditions. All of this is based on historical data, updated with current evidence, within strict mathematical guidelines. We start with long-term base rates, that's what usually happens, and adjust them as conditions change. Below that, you'll see current market conditions based on basic factors we found to have the most impact on future return probabilities. These are toggled based on whether or not they're active, and it influences the base rate of whether stocks are likely to rise going forward. Finally, you'll see our digest of market studies, both our own proprietary research and public studies we find particularly useful. These are rigorously tested, using our experience and judgment to help weigh their importance in the big picture. Each study influences the probabilities using Bayesian reasoning, an approach typically only found among the world's most savvy institutional investors. You can elect to get an email alert whenever a new study is posted. If you have questions about any of the studies, the Chat with Charts feature allows you to ask questions or get additional insights. This is a handy feature if any of the concepts are unfamiliar to you. Instead of asking, what should I buy, you're asking, should I be taking more risk here or less? We won't remove uncertainty, but we try to give you a better way to think through it and act on it.